Whoops. Okay. Wow. It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Let's make some noise. Well, that's enough of that. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. So my name is Matthew. You guys all know this because you probably listened to my podcast yesterday. Whew. Really need to breathe here for a second. I'm a type of person that I just love to do things that make me happy. I have a very, very large backstory. I have a lot of things that I like to talk about, and I feel that I can use experiences from my life to help other people, and I can help other people by way of certain medications, as you would call it, to get better. You know what I mean? And but before I get into that, I wanted to talk about my past, the things that led me to where I'm at today. So I was married to a woman named Kristen, and let me tell you, if she wasn't the most beautiful, most respectful, most respected, most perfect person I've ever seen in my entire life, and I never loved anybody more than anything in my entire life until the day I met my kids. Until the day I watched my kids come into this planet, and I loved her. I loved her dearly, and we were married. We were together for 4 years, and then we were married for about five and a half, because I think we're coming up on our 6-year anniversary here pretty soon. But with about a year and a half ago, we let some friends of ours that we had just met but knew that they needed some help, we let them move into our house. Their names was Simba and Ripley, and they were amazing people. They were great friends. We loved them. I am still very, very dear friends with Simba, as you may have known. He was on the podcast yesterday. So, but Simba was a different kind of person. He did some things that I didn't necessarily agree with, but the more I was around it, and of course I was in a band too. I was in a band. And everybody in the band obviously smoked marijuana, and Simba, he did too, and I was very much against this. Actually, I remember sitting on Kristen's front porch when I was 17 years old, and I was sobbing uncontrollably because I had found my mom's weed box. Right? Oh my God! End of the fucking world! My mom's killing herself. Right? Like, okay, cool. So, I was very much against it, but I was coming to the realization of what it really was, and the things that it offered, and the things that it came with, and so I told Simba, I was like, I think, because I had done a little bit of research. I'm a nerd, okay. I told him, I said, I think I want to give it a try. And he goes, you think you want to give it a try? And I said, yeah, I think I want to give it a try. I said, I really want to see what this stuff is. Now, backstory, on a backstory, not anymore, but I was a very depressed person. I have cuts all up and down my arms and my legs. I was actually in the Navy, and I got out of the Navy because I tried to kill myself multiple times. And they put me in the psych ward for like 17 weeks. It was a big ordeal. It was a really rough time, and that'll be a whole nother podcast. Yeah, it's actually a really sad one. So I'll make sure to put sad on there so that you guys know this is going to be a hard one. But so anyway, so I tried it. I smoked it. And let me tell you what, I felt amazing. I felt absolutely wonderful. The inner child in me came out. And now I only had like 3 hits off like a chillum, right? So it was like nothing. It was literally like I don't even think I smoked a quarter of a gram, but I was so high, and I was so unbelievable. I was so high that, okay, no joke, the floor was uneven. My trailer, I lived in a trailer. My floor was uneven. The trailer wasn't level, I guess you would say, and I could feel. I knew that, like, it made sense because like I could feel the lean of the house, but I wasn't leaning. Like it wasn't like a big lean. It was just a tiny lean, but I felt it. Like it was there, right? But I was super high, and then I smoked it again very soon after. I think like a day or two after that, and this time I got so high that I laid on my bed. And I felt this cold on the tip of my nose, and it just spread down my nose, and then across my face and down the sides of my face. I don't know what was going on, but I thought I was dying. Like I legit thought I was dying. Like I couldn't believe what was going on. You know what I mean? So long story short, Simba and Ripley ended up not working out, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And then soon after that, me and my wife, Kristen, were not working out. Unbeknownst to me, I was very naive in the situation, and that's a whole nother podcast in itself as well. But I was very naive in the situation, but I didn't know what was going on. Like I wasn't paying attention to the person I was being. I wasn't paying attention to the person I wanted to be. You know what I mean? I wasn't focusing on who I needed to be. I was focusing on me. And only me, but my wife saw that, and so she had to leave, you know, and there's a whole nother story. I mean, I can go into great detail about that, and I could probably talk for hours about it. But you know, so she left me, and it put me into a bad spot. It put me into a really, really, really bad spot. It was very hard. It was very hard to go on. My depression went extremely low. I am the type of person, I do not like to be alone. I hate being alone. That's actually why I'm doing the podcast now, is because this is a way for me to not be alone. I feel like I'm talking and somebody's listening to me, so it makes me feel better. It makes me feel good about life. I slowly, or very, very much rapidly, I would suppose, very rapidly, I went straight downhill. I went straight downhill, and I started cutting myself again. I was threatening my life. I literally had the suicide hotline number on speed dial. The song 1800 from Logic and Khalid and Alicia Cara, that was that song came out right about that same time. That gives you a good time frame on when this was all going on, you know what I mean? And that song came out right about that time, and it hit me so hard. I would just be in my car screaming that song with like a knife up against my throat, you know what I mean? And there was a time while I was living homeless out of my car for a while, and there was a time when I was in my car and that song was on the radio and I'm screaming the lyrics and I got a knife up against my throat. I was ready to do it. I was ready to end it. I wanted to go. I figured that I would have a better opportunity in hell than having to face eternity on this planet. Like I couldn't handle it. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be here no more. I wanted to go. I wanted to get out of this planet. My belief system, I was raised as a kid, I was taught heaven and hell and, Christianity and stuff like that, which I can't even say I'm Christian anymore, which that's a whole nother podcast in itself as well. But I do have a very strong faith and belief in something. And I had a friend, more than a friend, was my aunt. She decided she was going to fly me out to California. And she introduced something into my life I've never thought ever would be a possibility. But she introduced mushrooms. She introduced the psilocybin into my life. The good old magic mushroom, the greatest gift on this planet that was given to us by a higher power. Okay? The amount of healing that went on during this process, between taking shrooms and then coming back home, and then I picked up acid, started doing acid. I tried Molly, you know what I mean? I was doing a lot of psychedelics while also smoking the weed and the dab and, the keef and all the fun stuff like that. But keeping up on my, keeping a good shroom dose every month, once a month, you know what I mean? Do a good shroom dose, and then every other time you take acid with it or something like that. And the amount of healing that I've gone through to get to where I am now. I think that we have been lied to our whole lives. You have been, I have been, your mom has been, your dad has been, your grandma, everybody's been lied to about drugs and what they really are and the things that they're capable of doing. Now, am I out here doing heroin? No, I would never do that. I'm not doing cocaine. I'm not doing meth. I'm not saying that any drug is worse than the other. But medically, shrooms and weed are the only things. It's not gonna kill you. You know what I mean? They're gonna grab onto you. They're gonna hold on to you. They're gonna love you. They're gonna take you places. You know what I mean? Especially the shrooms. You're gonna go so many places, and I have gone many places. Now, do I condone the use of drugs? Well, no, of course not. Do I want my 3 and 4 year old doing them? Absolutely not. I would never want anybody to do drugs that didn't need it. You know what I mean? But I think that as a very depressed person, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I was diagnosed with personality disorder, anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with separation disorder. I was diagnosed with bipolar, depressional bipolarism. It's where it's like you're super happy and then you're super sad. It's like the opposite of just regular bipolarism, when you're happy and then mad, then happy and then mad. And I was diagnosed with suicidal tendencies. Like, 17 weeks in the psych ward, of course, you're going to get diagnosed with a few things, right? So, I've had to learn how to deal with these things that are in my head, and I have found them through substances that are actually not legal, which is unfortunate. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping that one day the government will understand, and then they will realize that this is good for us, and they will help us. You know what I mean? I am all about peace, love, and happiness. And it's a very cliche hippie thing to say, but it's true. I'm all about finding your happiness and finding your peace, because that's what I've done in my life. I have been forced down a path that I might not have necessarily wanted to go down originally. I never would have imagined, even just a year ago, that I'd be sitting here in my own apartment, smoking weed and making a podcast, and my wife wouldn't be there. Like, I never imagined that. You know what I mean? But life has a funny way of making you do what it wants you to do. People say they have a choice. You don't have a choice. Life is going to make you do what it wants you to do. So I thank you guys for listening to me today. I honestly, you are literally just listening to me ramble. I hope you care. I hope you enjoyed it. I pray. I wish good tidings, and I hope that all of you will have a blessed day. You know what I mean? Please don't hesitate to smile. Right before I go, I got 22 seconds left on the timer. My mom always told me, if you're upset, just smile, and you'll feel 10 times better immediately. And if that's not the truth, I'm telling you what, that is definitely the truth. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And just please be happy. Love y'all. Peace.